I'm live. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. It's Ian here. It's not Tin Man. Woo! I feel like sneezing. Anyways. Yeah, I found a new location to be able to do my lives, but I have to do it when the place is closed. So ignore that guy back there. Because this is just Ian. Hello, whoever's out there, it's just Ian. It's not Tin Man. It's not Tin Man. It's the guy who's thinking about retiring from being Tin Man. Yeah. So how's life? I hope life's good. I got myself a coffee with no advertising, so whatever, YouTube. Tiffany! Hello, what are you doing up at these kind of hours? It's 10 to 4 in the morning here, I think. Something like that. What am I doing up at these hours too, eh? You're a night owl, eh? Cool. I probably got almost close to 5 hours worth of sleep. You're an artist? Oh, cool. So you work when you feel content to work, I would imagine, eh? Like you do your art, you do your stuff when you are in that spirit, so you stay awake when you're in that spirit. So that's the artist's heart in part, eh? Just very open. Yeah, my art of searching for Sasquatch. Not necessarily searching. Like I haven't even decided that I'm trying to really search for them, like really establish finding them. Like I haven't decided, to push myself that hard. Because once I'm going to open that door, it'll be kind of like your projects, I would imagine. That when you do that, you're just now in that world of doing your thing. So it would be the same thing for, I don't like that finger there. Be the same thing for me. A very similar thing. I'm an artist by heart also myself. So Tiffany says, stay up. Stay up when everybody is asleep. Peaceful and serenity. Yeah, for sure. Bill! What the hell? What is sleep? What are you doing up at this hour? You're just across the line here. Are you around? Are you in the great state of Washington? Yeah, I'm just doing Ian. I'm not doing Tin Man right now. Having myself a coffee. Might even have myself a cigarette of sorts. Just chilling. Figuring out that I have a new place to be able to do my Wi-Fi hookup if I feel. You're across the divide. Yeah, you are. Where wall number 2 has been kind of threatened. In all reality, the wall should be there for the amount of stuff that's coming into Canada. Ugh. Just letting them. I don't know if you're up on that or anything, but tons of immigrants are going across up in our prairie lands and stuff. And they're doing that based on fear of Trump. It's just, Trump's coming up with real rules, so all it is rule breakers are coming across. So it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. So this is the YouTube world. This is what people do for sources of entertainment. I have a son that plays video games live, with his buddies or whatever. Not live, but where they communicate the whole time and stuff, and they're doing their thing and they're on their subjects. But at the same time, they're just playing a game. We're kind of in that world doing this. What do we have? A big whoops. Tiffany goes and says, I was on Street View, Google Maps, okay. Not a block away from Piggy Wiggly grocery store up in northern Wisconsin's Upper Peninsula of Michigan border towns, and saw such amazing sassy in the trees. Crazy. Yeah, eh? However you are with your computer and stuff, but I mean, you can take imaging of that. You can, do a Facebook thing just dedicated to that, Even if we're always right or wrong, I'm telling you right now that there is so much activity out there. And I'm not supposed to be talking Bigfoot, Tiffany. I'm supposed to be just Ian right now. But there's so much activity out there. They're in all the force, I'm telling you. Only got moose, elk, and marmots up here. Yeah, the marmots. Those, Bill, will be a little bit of a thing that's confusing. And the reason is because there's lots of little beings with the Bigfoots. I'm believing that's going to be family. From the best imagery on a lot of my stuff. Yeah, and one thing about people thinking there's so many different looks and stuff, it's because of how they trip us out. It's what they're able to do. So when they're bunched together, you'll think you're zoning in for a couple of eyes maybe or whatever, but it can be of the separate beings. So now you start adding different things, and you start realizing, I believe a lot of these so-called wolf, I don't even know the terminology of what people are calling them. Shows my interest there. Dogmen. Anyways, is just these different, going to be some different looks, but I think they're going to be kind of in the, ape family, kind of a thing like that. That's where you've downloaded one picture, eh? Oh, sorry. What are you sorry about? Bill, you're 10 miles from any humans right now? Nice. Oh, that's why you are. I see. Okay. Nice. You lucky guy out there. Great for you, man. And you got Wi-Fi. Oh, about talking about Bigfoot, I hear you. You can hear it. It'll be hard for me to kill the subject, right? But there's some days they're just so difficult, man. But life's supposed to be difficult, right? I guess, or you're supposed to at least be prepared for it being difficult. The way I'd look at it. If you watched my last video there or whatever, when I did the live there, I expressed that I was pretty upset at some people. And I have a video that I made directed towards them and stuff, but my 19-year-old son, which is a young man, has asked me to just put it on hold until we can get together, and he just wants to talk to me or whatever. So, he understands this school. I understand that school. So I'm willing to talk about nowadays times, but we are talking about old school people, so he's got to understand that part. Oh yeah, I was looking at your video there tonight, Bill Gorman, with that elephant carving stuff and so on and so forth. Very interesting, and I don't want to put any hiccups in your stuff, and I'm not trying to do that, but what I've been teaching a lot on my channel, Bill, is Bigfoot are huge frackers. Right away you're understanding what fracking is. You know how we frack to get oil. They frack to shift water, or that's a phenomenon that happens when they are fracking. And also they frack to the extent of piece walls apart. Take walls apart. They take apart our decorative walls, retaining walls, rock retaining walls, the big block retaining walls. You'll start notice the big 4,000-pound block ones. A lot of them, when you're driving down the road, you might start to notice them. They start to do a dipping thing in them. They do. It seems they somehow, with little guys, do undermining, and that's why I went with your marmots there about talking about if you see little things, just be aware that it might not just necessarily be a marmot. Yeah, it can. So Tiffany's saying it can consume your life, the Bigfoot. We need to stay grounded in our life. Yeah, the problem, if it's a problem, not really. But the thing with me, this is my life, right? So I keep wanting to just get it to this spot. And I believe once I can get it to that spot, then I'm going to be able to draw an income somehow through, because the spot I'm wanting to get to is obviously like getting into government levels, which needs to be at a very deep government level, obviously. But getting in there, and I believe if you can get it in the door of the government and they start to analyze what I have, then they're going to realize that there's a real thing going on here, and then obviously the skill is worth something, I think. But until then, there's lots of people who are up with ideas and understandings on the YouTube and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know how hard anybody out there is working, or if every guy just does an upload and that's it. They don't go to their city hall. They don't talk to their MPs, member of parliaments. They don't do anything like that, right? Don't talk to their doctors. Don't do anything. I'm at least pushing on some levels of official people like that. I approach cops. I haven't approached any cops for a bit here, RCMP, but I have a few different times, even Vancouver police and stuff. And so there's a little bit of paperwork on me. There's a little bit of name out there. If a cop brings me up on the system, it says a little bit about this guy, whatever, doing research out of his car, or they're calling me homeless, or whatever their code would be. But I don't consider myself homeless at all. Like, I see what homeless people are going through, and I ain't going through that hardship. So I'm just a guy that's a little bit nutso and willing to just do this. I'm not crazy. I'm not insane. And Bill, so I was talking about your fracking of that stuff. So even in those pictures, I was noticing, and you'll be able to age rock. You're a smart man like that, where you'll be able to look at some of the rock and see how those guys are now piecing it apart. More so, you're there if you're still around that spot, and I'm sure you're going to leave and come and leave and come. Well, you're going to end up seeing it probably degenerating in a way. Like they're just, I don't know why they're so into taking rock apart, but there are many stoneheads in scree pile fell from higher up. Scree? Cops, no problem. Lawyers and politicians make you want to slap them. Yeah, I hear you. I just stay away from all that kind of stuff if I can. Especially lawyer, yeah. Anything that would cost me money. What was the scree about? Many stone heads in scree pile. Well, some kind of okay, so you're saying that they're just in a pile down below from higher up. Yep. Along the highways, Bill, I don't know if you notice, but wherever you're getting along your cliff areas and stuff like that, if you feel like watching, you'll notice even along there, because you do a lot of traveling, so you'll notice along any of the cliff areas and stuff like that. Winter's coming here. So notice where maybe you've never seen waterfalls coming down. before and stuff. And I believe in some of those cases, that's where we're starting to know the change in fracking and the change in creek changes up and stuff, where they're making creeks heavier over here, lighter over here, and different things like that. And we'll just be mixed up thinking, oh, there's a lot of water this year coming here and not so much over there this year, sort of thing like that. And like it's just totally a flip thing maybe. And somehow in our minds we're able to just deal with it. We're just able to make it seem kind of normal. And we're going to find out that a lot of that stuff isn't so normal. Because water out of our control is out of our control. Tiffany says we're open-minded and aware to an extent most people aren't when it comes to our surroundings. Very much so, yeah, you're right. Yeah. But you know, there's something also that tweaked us to think about a little bit deeper too. Like Bill here, Bill's not, I don't think Bill, I would imagine, Bill, do you believe in Bigfoot? Do you think that there is something out there like that? But Bill is where the Bigfoot live, but he doesn't look for them. I don't even know if he pays attention for them. If he started paying attention for them, then he'd recognize them. But if you're not paying attention for them, then they give you less clues, I believe. This place lasted 10,000 years so far and doing fine. Rock piles at the bottom of the cliff. I hear what you're saying, but I'm talking about kind of almost like this is a new phenomenon that I'm claiming that these big-footed, crew of beings or whatever, big and small, we have a lot of canyon systems. So I've gone through a few of our canyons, and I see and I document what I believe they're doing, and they're basically taking apart our cliff faces and stuff. And so I'd assume they would do the same thing in your country, right? So one knocked at your door at 3 a.m. one time. Hey, Bill? Is this going to be a finished joke, or you're serious? You did hear someone knock at your door and you went there and it was nothing. Tiffany's saying, do you think they're trying to make our environment better? I don't know about that, Tiff. If I can say Tiffany, I don't know if it's that. It doesn't all add up to the, there's many times where I've kind of tried to just go with that, but it all doesn't all add up. Sorry, I got you balanced on my steering wheel there. And then you say, I do bet they think we're monsters in a way because of what we're doing to the environment. I don't know. Yeah, Bill, you're saying it was a Bigfoot, eh? Cool. Did you get a glimpse, or you just knew for a fact? Because they'll do that stuff. They will do that stuff. They can take off in an instant before you're even thinking about getting out of bed. And they're already gone in a good spot to be able to watch you. See what you're all about. Just check you out. See what your attitude's like. See if you come to the door with a gun. Tiff is fine. Okay, Tiffany. Anyways, so. Yeah, so Tiffany, I was going to say that, because if you think about lots of other creatures that help our environment, they're actually doing things in some respects to help the environment. There's got to be ones, And all of those creatures, or if we just look at the creature's mind, how natural they just do what their job is. And then us, we get to have these billion different jobs. Well, in their field, maybe I've sometimes thought, maybe that's how they break up their jobs, but they're still earthly jobs. And in the way of, how do you say it? Because it will have to do with the liquids of Earth. It will have to do with all the hard matter of Earth. and the plantation of earth that they have a part in. And then so because of that, they got different fields of work. Like sometimes when I'm driving up there and I've seen all this rock work that I'm talking about, them busting it apart and stuff, I think to myself that these guys may be primarily just rock workers. And then when I'm in these other forests and amongst the trees, then I go with the woodsman and stuff like that. But it might be fully just the full package of all of the traits that I see going on, and they're all able to get involved in it. I kind of go stronger with that one because I see the rock fracking also. Like we're very forest around here, but we do also have cliffs and stuff, and a lot of it is being being uncovered, bared, if you will, and you can see rock being dismantled on these. You can see the different stages from it. I got it on my channel. I see it regularly. I can't help but be looking. So in other words, they're in the forest. They're doing all the forest stuff I talk about, and plus they're doing their rock fracking, breaking, whatever. So they're. He hit the door of the truck. Tiffany's saying that she's worried that they're preparing for something. Yeah. I don't think they're preparing for something because, my background is construction. So, you kind of look at schedules. And thanks, Tiffany. And so you look at schedules and such, you get used to schedules of work, stages of work, and completion dates and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I really, I'm just too much speculation for me there. There's almost too much information that covers, it's just not a field where I can come up with those answers, and I would be guessing too much. I don't get with overgrowth of trees. Yeah, Bill's saying that the Bigfoot are stoners, not rockers, because he hit the door on his truck. Oh, he hit your door like a truck. Oh, I see. I got you. So he went up there and bam. No dent, nothing like that, eh? Yeah. Kim Undumb, or still dumb, whatever, Kim Ung-jung, he's not going to nuke BC, man. He don't get to come around here. You guys will make sure he doesn't. Tiffany saying, what was your most profound experience with them? Probably the vocalization. Profound in a way that now when I've gone back and looked at it, I still haven't looked at the full time, but I stand there for well into a minute once I really did register and realize, holy cow, man, there is something down there thrashing at the bush, and he's mad. At this point there, I hadn't heard the growl that I hear at the end, or the first growl. You've probably heard this story, right? The first growl is it stands out the most. The one at the very end when I say, okay, I'm out of here. That growl doesn't stand out near the same amount, but it is a growl that gets me moving out of there. But that's pretty profound that I found whatever courage it took to be able to stand there and try to argue, try to just test a little bit and stuff. I think that's what I was mostly doing, was just testing them out. So the stoner rocked the RV when he smacked on the door. Bill saying, do Bigfoot fart? You know, I sometimes wonder that. And the thing why I wonder that is because you probably realize, you know, some of you people, that our stomachs also make a lot of noise. So when you're in the forest and you can hear your own stuff, you got to make sure that your own stuff isn't somehow tripping you out like, oh, what's that? But you never really felt it or whatever, but it's doing a vibrational kind of noise that you pick up on or whatever type thing. Well, anyways, that makes me think about them in their situations. So in other words, when you're standing really close to one of them, you know, is there a chance one could sneeze? You know, allergic to me? You know, I don't know. So I don't know, Bill, if they fart. I'm going to guess they probably don't have much for gastro problems in a way, because probably, hello, AC. How, what are you doing up so early? Yeah, you remember that video? Cool. Tiffany's saying she remembers my vocalization video. It's a pretty good video. It's pretty freaky. It's legit, 100% legit. It's my third where I put it 100% legit. Like, because it's being broken. It's being proofs where people can hear it through the camera. And that I was hearing it. And then two of my visual ones are 100% by me visually being able to see them, and through the camera we're able to see them. So I don't know if you've seen my big male one, but he's pretty cool, and I got him for over 10 minutes in full video. I don't have all the video up, and I have him on 2 different cameras, so that's pretty sweet. Every steep in Bigfoot shit. Ever step in Bigfoot shit? No, but I have found what I truly believe to be Bigfoot shit. Oh, it's on your favorite videos, eh, Tiffany? Cool. So you've seen my, hey Venom, how's it going, brother? Yeah, I'm getting her done, man. Trying to get something done. But so Tiffany, you've watched my first face-to-face, because that's my first experience. That's day 13 in basically the days of me starting to actually be drawn to do this look. And that was just over a year ago now. And I don't remember the actual date. I got to get into it and figure out a couple of keynotes like that. DNA testing of shit. You know what, Bill? I got something much better than that. I mean, we got to remember DNA costs money, man. And my pension isn't as good as yours. But I wasn't as smart as you, remember? But I got a deer bone. I don't know, Dean or Bill, if you've watched that video, but I got this deer bone one, and I got a few on it. But I even give the breakdown on how I can see a claw system cleaning out the inside of that deer bone, so to get all the bone marrow out, right? And when I found that, I got to have that when I first picked it up off the ground, it was blood red in there. They were in the process of eating it and so on and so forth, probably just right then. And then they thought, hey, let's toss that out there, seeing as he's walking back this way, or whatever it was. Whatever tempted them to do that, I believe they did do that on purpose. And part of the factual part of that is when I picked it up, I could see that redness of blood in there. I could see the different levels of them cleaning with a claw. Where it's not a tool, you could tell it would be a claw. And so just not too long down the trail, because I kept it, and as I'm walking down the trail, I got to see the depths of that blood color change. And so then I knew it was very fresh and raw blood. And what that excites me so much about is, to me, with my understanding with science, is them doing their little clean, and then licking and letting the kids lick and stuff and sticking their stuff in there. they're really doing a good DNA setting in that. So that sits in a freezer and waits for the day that I can afford to get it done, or someone says, let's get it done. Yeah, I know my shit. Bill, yes, I know my shit pretty good sometimes. We are all night owls, eh, see? I'm not much of a night owl most of the time, right? But I think I'll probably go somewhere and crash again for another 5 hours or something here soon. I came into town when it's nice and quiet, so this is maybe I should be starting to try to be a night owl again and change up my shift for winter. So anything new and exciting, folks? This was just supposed to be Ian time. Not supposed to be so much Bigfoot talk. Just me chilling. If anybody likes to chill, then they can chill. People coming into the bank machine, getting ready to head into the city of Vancouver. That's what I'm starting to see. I'm starting to see traffic. It's going to be Vancouver traffic, I would imagine. Getting over to our couple of main highways. Going into the big city of Vancouver. Smart people head out now. And if they got some kind of desk job or whatever, or computer jobs where they just have to kind of punch that clock for so many hours, then a lot of people take advantage of driving into Vancouver. You can save yourself a lot of time in this little city. Vancouver's really not that big of a city compared to the big cities. Never name your farts like hurricanes. Jeez, Bill. That's Bill. Bill Groman. Or Gorman. If anybody wants to know, go over to his channel. He's asking me right now, ever name your farts like hurricanes? No. I know one person I could have done that with, though. That could have been my dad. He'll never watch these things, so that's alright. But that man, on demand, on command, he could, how come no, there we are. So Tiffany is saying, I've seen the trees up here are doing the rapid growth. Cool. In certain areas. You know, in all areas, but different techniques. So you'll probably see, not to cut you off there, but you'll see different effects going on. They can spread it out and do worthwhile effects to their understanding. Okay, growth in certain areas, one of which is an old neighborhood with mature trees that they're hiding in. Okay, so what do you do for fun besides Bigfoot searching? Nothing these days. Nothing. Venom saying I'm working again after a year off. Okay, that's Venom saying that. Okay. From a four-wheeler wreck. Holy shit, man. A year off. I hope you're doing all right. Hope things are have healed up well and you know, don't have that life of a drag of a wipeout. I did a four-wheeler wipeout that tore one of my legs apart pretty good, and it was life-changing, but I've done really well with it. I've been so happy with how well it's come along. AC is saying, how are the fall colors up there right now? Beautiful? You know, no. They're not setting in. They're just starting to really be at that point now where they're just starting to set in. the stuff that you might be noticing is a little bit pre-stuff. And this all goes back to me talking about them being able to go around and tweak. Remember, I talk about a lot of little guys. So if there's a lot of little guys, somehow they've done stuff in certain trees where they preset some mood into it. And a lot of those trees, because when we get our fall colors and stuff, our leaves are in such a state, I'm understanding, that the leaf is giving its last little bit of energy back into the tree, down to the stem. And because it gives all that energy back into the branch like that, the stem then just will easily fall away. Well, you go up to the ones where you've thought, hey, those leaves have been there for a long time, and you do your little testing on there and stuff, and it's a different process. So be aware of that. We'll figure more out with that one. So don't buy into all the colors. In other words, if you see anything that's a real deep fire red, it's maybe been tweaked for a long time, and you notice that in our, what do you call it, needling trees or evergreens and such like that. You'll notice that fire red in some of those ones too. And I'm not saying it's all the way I'm saying, but there's going to be a division there of naturalness and those guys. Have you ever thought of getting a tiny house? Yeah, I'd love to get a tiny house. Love to get a tiny house. I like small houses. You know, I'd be all right with this just being an RV and me continuing for now as that being my house. I'd be okay with that. I'm okay with this, but, you really do get tired of it. Can't remember. I think in November I'll be at a year. Living in a car, 52 years old, man. Oh, boy. Funny stuff. It's okay, though, man. It's just life. I think it's part of the adventure, right? I mean, it's uncomfortable, and sometimes I'm hating it. Like, when I woke up, a couple hours ago, or I just couldn't fall back to sleep, I just got up with upset energy. And I'm like, I get up and I go, what am I doing living in my car here? Like, I was just frustrated. And then I came down here and I decided to come on here and stuff. And now I've woken back up to the reality of what's really going on, Ian. And, just keep floating along with this, brother. It's going to, we all pep talk ourselves. You guys help pep talk me. Maybe some of my stuff is pep talking you. Back and forth. We try what we try and get what we get. And as long as we're still, doing that humanly thing of putting in a little bit of time and trying some effort and stuff, then that's good. It's when you're a bump on the log when it's bad. Charisse, Cherish Rosin, how's it going? AC says, interesting. So Venom, you're really happy to be back at work, eh? Right on. Give Bigfoot a deodorant, Bill says. Yeah. I'm sure, I haven't... Well, there was a couple of times way back where one or two times where I was kind of calling out maybe a smell and stuff. And... yeah, I don't have enough recall with that to be able to say if I even now think that I was smelling anything to do with them or anything, because the one time I thought that maybe I was going through a bathroom area. Just chillin'. AC is saying you should give a P.O. box so we can send you some snail mail. Yeah. I tried that where where you can just do it at the post office. But then I have, just as general delivery, but then I have to go in there regularly and check it. And, that's kind of a big deal for me. The way I'm situated. and to actually put the money out to have a P.O. box. I'm not sure what it would be. I guess it would be like $30 a month or whatever. And I don't see the sense in doing any of that kind of stuff, right? Like, I'm one of those people where, I think this information is so hot, the government just needs to be on it. They need to be tracking somehow a base of information somewhat. And I hope to get to the point where I just get to be able to draw some kind of contract with them. And life just goes forward like that. And then I can continue however I decide to continue with YouTube. Because I'm not one of these, if people are thinking at all who are watching, that I'm a guy that decided to start this channel and look for Bigfoot. I'm not at all that story. I'm a guy that had some interest in Bigfoot and stuff, but I'm that guy who just went on a path one day and got to be lucky enough to see a lot of signs of Bigfoot in the area. And my knowledge has just grown a lot. And I'm not overly at peace with a lot of the knowledge that I've come across. Yeah, I hear you, AC. No worries, free spirit. Yeah, you know what it's like. You almost feel a little bit more tied down, I guess, or whatever. Not to say that I couldn't use that sign of appreciation. That's how I would feel it, as people are saying they appreciate what you're doing. And I'm not totally throwing that away. But I think I would probably do it differently. Like if there's a full out, okay, man, here's my email, and I email back, and then we actually connect somehow, and this person turns around and throws me a few bucks or whatever type thing. I don't want the $10 a month people or the $20 a month people to give away that $20, because that makes their time $20 harder. There's no sense on making those people in a harder time, but the person who has that kind of money where it's not the hard, really necessarily money, then that's what I'd be more into talking to that person. Tiffany is saying, about your ringing in ears. Oh, okay, sorry. Have you ever heard of having acupuncture done? Yes, I have. Mine is damaged enough that it's damaged in more than one way that has affected my tinnitus. Plus, I have a different element in there that's called hyperacusis. And that's the element that really needs to be taken care of before my tinnitus would. So my real, true best therapy would be that tiny house up in the mountains somewhere, and I kept myself on a low-key diet of, roughing my head up and stuff. Plus, I think I'm going to need surgery. I think that's the first thing I really need. It's probably never going to happen from the way our system is working out here. It seems like they don't really give a crap with me. So it'll probably never happen, but I truly think that I just, first of all, need some surgery that'll help stable up my neck and stuff and make things better here, and then see where it comes after that. And then again, I don't even know if I want them to touch me, right? You have it to a point of no return, Tiffany. So you know what I'm talking about with the ringing of the ears then, eh? Do you have many different tones? Do you have it in both ears, same volume? I don't know, maybe you don't like to look at it too much, like in your mind, because then it becomes too heavy for you or whatever. Some people like, I'm at that place now where, to talk about it and stuff is not very irritating. Just to have it and to have my condition is the irritating part. I'd learned to only left ear, sorry. That's cool. AC is saying, tiny house therapy, we should put that on a bumper sticker. That rocks, man. That's a good one. What's going on here? For the masses. Well said. Yeah, that for sure, man. Tiny house therapy. There is something about it. Yep, Tiffany agrees. AC's here to liven up the party. Speaking of liven up the party, I'm going to have a cigarette, so if there's any kids out there, no looking at me having a cigarette. You know, I can't even totally, if you go back to my old videos, me saying cigarette now, you'll realize that I'm not necessarily meaning a regular cigarette. It's part of what I do to maintain and take care of myself, but crazy people who think this is a bad thing, you would think I'd be acting like a crazy person, though, the way they think, right? But no, it really does have medicinal values to it, energy in it. It's not for everybody. See, I grew up in this culture where what I still agree with, I don't have a problem with guys going to church and stuff and being a smoker of any kind, whatever their choice is. If they smoke a pipe, if they smoke a cigarette or whatever. What I have a problem with is if they walk over to their car where all the kids are and they spark up their cigarette and are standing there smoking with the kids and being that kind of influential thing. I like more that other program where the guys all walk over there and they have their cigarettes and the kids are hanging out over here and stuff. I use the church as an example. And part of the reason why I use that example is because not very many people ever do really smoke at church or outside the parking lot or whatever, right? So we don't have very many values we hold on to anymore. It's not like I'm hiding much, but, if a kid did happen to be sitting here right now, he kind of hears the conversation about it, but he's not getting the full of, oh, Daddy, what's he blowing in her face? Oh, is that okay, Dad? Do you think it's okay? And, and then there's figuring out judgments of what's going on and stuff like that. Sometimes you just keep it out of people's eyes, and then they don't have to necessarily be thinking about it all the time. You hear me? Meanwhile, everybody out there is a 420er. No problem. I grew it for my ex. It helped him, depending on the type he smoked. Yeah, that's for sure. It's nice to figure out the kind that works the best for you. So the construction boom out here is still going big. Where I see a lot of these guys' territories that they've taken over and moved into is getting worse. Like getting infringed on, where we're moving into their newly set up spots. There's a lot of new stuff. Like, I don't know if I'm expressing that enough yet, but I'm increasing. And the reason is because when I go back to my first face-to-face video now, my eyes have adapted in such a way that there's a heck of a lot more than my speculation of, I don't know, I think I was getting up to 7 or 8 beings maybe, around and amongst and stuff. My speculation is the number is higher than that because of the small guys. So if you're watching my first face-to-face, try to really register with the middle being. The guy right in the middle at 2 minutes is the best time. See his shape, you see his eyes, you see the colors. Really get into that. And once you start really getting into that and coming back to that video once in a while, you'll start to be able to span out just in about that whole pile. You'll see how this pile goes in behind the the bush somewhat and stuff, so you got to be able to start being able to really figure out how to look between the leaves and stuff like that. A great characteristic is to look for this or this kind of a thing. And that's because you just look at twigs and stuff. Just look at all the twigs, and that's what's happening is there's just tons of crossing formation. I have ones where I've called them the glasses, like they're trying to fake us out like glasses, and I don't mean human glasses. They resemble they're just doing this, but their hand is actually, I don't know, I think their hand might be whatever. In some cases, I think they're even able to flex their finger. They're doing it like that. It's just so trippy, but they actually have a full circle with their fingers doing that. Actually, I got a really cool picture here. I should see if you guys can see it, eh? You want me to do that? This is one of my newer discoveries. One of my photos, and I think I got it pretty quick here. Yes, I do. Is this it? Yeah. There. No, that's not this. Yes, that's it over there. Okay, so I don't know how well this is going to work out. But I just talked about the different finger techniques, right? And in that one where I say there's it kind of looks like a Sasquatch head up here in the trees. And down below there's finger things going on there where there's a guy trying to do I think the one guy is kind of doing this where he's not really even looking through the fingers. He's looking like this and he's got his head turned, whatever. We got stuff I'm working on with that and talking about that. So here, I came up to it was really dense and bush. So I, on purpose, with the thought of them doing these little techniques of their fingers and trying to cover themselves up in just their different ways that they do it. So I thought of that, so I picture like that. So these two pictures actually happen to overlap. It's really awesome because they're at the same height. What you're going to be looking at, and you might already see it. You see that right there? Is that it? Right there? No. Yes, it is this one on this side. So it's right there on this one. I'm just giving you the idea of where it's going to be, and it's right there on that one. So you can see how it lines up really well like this. You see that? And I'll give you a better view in a second here. I'm just giving you some key points because you look for that. So I have studied these pictures in great detail because when your camera does a little bit of a change like this and you're over here now and you're getting still things in there, how you can measure your reference is you start to look at you pick out different key points that will be in both pictures and you look at how much the light changes and stuff. And I think one of the references I used may be right there. I don't remember what it was, but it's where a little triangular little piece of the light, you could see it on one side of the stick, strong say, and then I'm not looking for it, it's somewhere around. Anyways, and that hardly changes. And there's a number of other things that hardly do any kind of a shift. This thing here, it does more of a shift. If it does more of a shift, like where on these ones is kind of cool because it's almost like you get to see a dimensional figuring on it because the other ones are straight on like this. So all you kind of see is really flatness. This one, because there's a little bit of a turn on an angle like that, you get to see, you almost think you might even get to see two fingers doing a weird overlap like this, not necessarily like that, but coming out thicker like that. So it's really cool. And another thing, what you're going to notice, so when you're looking at this, and you're looking at the thing that I'm talking about, right probably something on his shoulder maybe or something like that, you see in one of the pictures you get to see it. And in the other picture, it's moved, gone, or just different. And like I said, I went through these overlaps really well, and there's nothing that becomes different. Let me tell you that much. So if you get to see it, you get to see it. And the one I'm going to try to see if I can see where that little bugger, if it shows different in that one or that one. Okay. So, I don't know what, I'll just choose to show you this one first. So now what you're going to look for is you're going to look for that. See that little white speck right above? Got a little pointer here. So you're going to look at this guy. That's the, what I'm talking about, finger glasses. So measure this color in here and stuff too while you look at this, okay? Remember to look at this stuff. You see that now? How you would think, okay, that's a black spot in between fingers. Black spot. This is the one that's a little bit more on an angle. You're going to like the other one better. And then the reference of what I'm talking about, it might be up this high, but it's somewhere in here. Anyways, like I said, I've watched all these different colors in here and stuff, and nothing changes the amount that this thing up here will. And watch the change of angle on this, okay? Try to remember that distance in your own mind from this tree to there as a reference. Whatever you think it is, look at this distance right here, straight from it. So just say in your mind, okay, I give that 10 inches and I give that 4 inches, whatever. Now watch, I'll bring up the other picture. The better way of me to have done that was with the backing, but that works out all right. So I'm just going to let you, I'm going to try to get it there good for you. Then I'll try putting them side by side. I don't know if you're picking up on any differences of what I'm pointing out, but you can almost see the, like, I don't know what this horn, see that hornish like whiteness right there and here, maybe there. So I don't know if that's the extra digits doing something. I know it's not the best, guys, but it's something. So let me do it like there. See if I could, I'm going to make this one darker behind it. And I'll turn that picture right around like that. And where am I again? Make sure I'm all good in the, yeah. What am I doing here? Where am I? There it is. So I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to come in there. So you see the one right now, and then you see that one. So you see the whiteness above. See the branch above. It's almost like that branch is a little bit higher too from it. I don't know if you're seeing it well, but there is something that... So to me, what I think we're seeing is we're seeing probably somebody who's doing a finger fake out there, and you know, maybe a youngster or something. Put it closer. Did you get a good look at it, Tiff? Because as I put it too close, it was almost, well, you're smoking your own for the first time, Venom. Your own from your own plant. Cool. What are Bigfoot doing with the rock? Like they love rock. There's something about rock. They really like, and that's why I might, you know, I could say that there's ones that really seem so addicted to wood culture, and then some that are so much to rock culture, but it really might be just the amalgamation of them both. Hey, Julie, how's it going? You made it. That's because I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning or something. Cool, Venom. You could see some differences, Tiffany. Nice. Okay. Yeah. And so the glasses, I call them glasses, but it's, some of us, like we were talking about that before, Tiffany, that the naivety of people could be, oh, glasses, Tin Man, yeah, okay. But it's kind of like we need reference words. I am not saying, yeah, and they're pretending there's a lens in there too. Has nothing to do with glasses. Has to do with a reference word, but it has to do with confusion. And what this does is, think about it. If you guys were looking through, if I was robbing a store, hey, you're not going to, unless they can really zoom in with good focus stuff, they're not going to be able to figure out who I am at all like this. I mean, I got this, but hey, yeah, Julie's laughing, eh? Yeah, I've been on here for an hour, Julie. You haven't given me a thumbs up yet, though, I'm thinking. So, I was just kind of doing an Ian time, a little bit of Bigfoot time, chilling, having a good time, hanging out with people. I found a new place to be able to do my Wi-Fi if I feel like doing it. Right here, comes in pretty nice and strong. AC is saying Bigfoot uses leaves and brush as well to hide among the foliage. Yes. And you know what? You might really start, seeing as how you know that and realize that, then also watch the leaf breakdown in your area, because they love to use that, especially if you come into a spot where you're sitting there thinking, I think I've come in here quick. If you're comfortable and you want them to know and you're okay with them knowing that you're looking for them, then bend over and you'll notice a lot of scattered leaves. Well, people start moving those leaves and see why they do it. It's because they're not necessarily having the time to go and clean up the ground in any ways, or they don't want that to look because they'll think that's too suspicious. So in a lot of cases now, they do motorcycle kind of almost like burnout with their hands and stuff like that, and tread designs and stuff like that. Like, they've gotten really smart with their tread design, where I got this one tread design where I've never seen the tread design before. It was some kind of an object that was fairly big and shaped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided sort of thing, right? And like it would have been pressed in the middle, just say. And then almost just like on this side and on this side, I can't remember if they're fighting with each other, but almost like if I took my finger and just pressed it really well on the side there and made a side track. So they understand our tires, and I've totally figured it to be fake. Because these in this side wasn't matching very well. The thing in the middle, the way it was just a single, so the tire ended up seeming like it was this big, and like it only had a single tread going down the middle. So, I've never seen an ATV tire like that before. And then you also calculate in how much the person was around here. Oh yeah, how I really came to the good answer on that one was when I was leaving, I knew the hill that these supposed kids were burning up and down on the hill, on the thing there, and they only came up like twice in this one in particular spot, or 3 times or whatever type thing. It was just like, yeah, I'm just going on with that. I'm running on. Yeah, thumbs up. Thank you, Venom. Yeah, so AC was saying that about the foliage and stuff, yeah. Yeah, they're, I call it fencing. They fence in your sides and stuff with brush, and they also, in some cases, will do walls. So what you can do is you can think of key spots of views. So you think to yourself, if you think they're in this area, then you think about optimum view for them looking at you. And then you turn around and you look at this way and you think, okay, what are they going to try to block on their view from the views of that house. They'd say the bedroom windows there or whatever. And you might look over here and realize, holy cow, you can tell how that's kind of built in and thickened up to be able to stop that. And then in many cases I'm noticing because I think a lot of you probably know it, that, see, when my hand's like that and my finger goes in that shade, it becomes very dark like that, right? So they like to do that. And a lot of these things are ending up at key points. End of a T road right here. You see a big where the bush is way in like this. It's almost like we're doing right now. So here's the bush out in the sun more. Here's the roadside. And then just in the one spot, they just do this. And they don't necessarily sit right here, but they know they can just sit right here and be that much more in the black. They understand my hand's coming into the light right now, right? So those things, yeah, end of driveways, stuff like that. It's kind of weird, creepy that they are willing to have those kind of things, and it seems more like hangouts than just walk past, and they have it just so when they're walking past they can just check out what's in your driveway or whatever. Minute details about breaking up their pics so we don't see them. They're so smart about their surroundings. They are very smart about their surroundings, that is for sure. Cool idea. Got to get the kids up for school. Venom. Take it easy, Tin Man. Thank you very much. For sure, brother. Take care. Thumbs up. Smart to a level most people will not understand. That's correct. I really appreciate the breakdown of how they move among us. Thank you, AC. Time for Tiffany to go to bed. Take care. AC walls, I look into... Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I refer to them as kind of walls, doors, look for windows in the wall, such like that, where you think, okay, I can see how somebody maybe have an advantage of a perch back there and is using that for their window. Because, just remember our own tests. Like, it's almost like that guy, remember that guy on MTV or whatever, where he'd be, where's my thing? He's doing that to, okay, here we go. Yeah, where he's doing this thing. He's squishing the people's heads. It's kind of based on that theory. So they're the ones. It's really cool. I was on this job site one time, and I had to go up in just this small area. It was all in the front canopy of the building, so I had to go up there and do some inspecting, or for some reason I was up in there. Anyway, so I pulled up my camera, my phone, and there was just this little air hole, a couple of them along there or whatever. So I put my camera there, and then all of a sudden I got the whole view of the whole yard and stuff, and there was a couple of, actually one of my teammates, he's passed away now. Young guy who's a little bit younger than me, I think, and he died of cancer. It was really sad. But him and another teammate of mine down there, just the pictures. I took a row of pictures, and I was going to do these jokes and stuff. It was just comical stuff. But it just reminds me of what an advantage it is. Their advantage to be how they have orchestrated themselves to utilize their vision and the bush as a thing. If you walked up to the bush and just opened it a little bit like this, in so many cases you'll just be able to see for a long ways. It's hard for us to see and hard for us to understand, but all it is a study technique. You look first at that tree, then look deeper to that tree, then look deeper beyond that tree, and don't necessarily, I'm saying the trees, but look at the other things or whatever type of thing. And if you're at all wondering and stuff and not liking them around your place, if you start doing that kind of stuff, it might make them first curious, but if they're giving you a hard time, then that is, your curious is going to, I don't know if it would make them back off. I was going to say that, but I don't really know that. Yeah, they'll come up that close. Like I kid you not, AC. You know, if you can learn the scoring signs and stuff that I talk about, and then just start studying your own trees, you're going to start seeing these nicks that just don't make sense. Start studying those nicks more and more, and start understanding the angle it's cut on. Is it a cut? Is it a scrape? Is it a push? Is it a jab and a pull out? Is it a start this way and go that way? You know, there's lots of information there, and the more you start understanding that, then you go into your city, and you're going to see those same marks on your city trees, and you're going to go, what the frig am I figuring out here? That's what can happen. Hey, Jack, from New York City. Peace, brother. I have to get that brave first. Yeah, well, don't necessarily get that brave. Julie's asking if I believe in dogmen. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. I'm wondering if that's going to just be a misinterpretation of a Bigfoot look. That's what I wonder. I have nothing to understand with dogmen. You know, the one place where I've had my first face-to-face Bigfoot encounter, and I had my third encounter there, that's also face-to-face, but he's got his side profile to me the whole time. You know, that was my third experience, so that means that was around the 19th day. So that's only 6 days, and I had 3 experiences. And that experience there, the being looks a lot different than my first, but I see a whole bunch of color that tells me that there's a lot of that same dark being in there. So all I'm gathering is different looks. And I could understand how some people probably could call him a dog look. But to me, he doesn't even have a snout. But he references more of a baboon look to me. So, and that's what I grabbed from the very beginning. Yeah, that's crazy stuff, eh, Julie? Oops. In all your years of study, do you think they are dangerous? You know, the funny thing is with that comment is I don't have years. I only just passed my first year. But my year of experience adds up to, I'm going to say maybe more than, the experience has got to add up to the top people, any of the top people out there, except for the people that are truly, really connecting, that they're around, and they live right there, and they come around and hang out in their yard and do these different things, and the person's really connecting and understanding. That person obviously would be having a different, bizarre thing than me, but I've had unbelievable amount of experiences, and it was about a year ago when my tinnitus and hyperacusis, my hearing ailment, was really giving me a really rough time. And I just, for the all-out power of anything, however you want to look at that, I just said, hey man, I need something to, help take this load off. And the next day after saying that, I took a turn here, and I said, I'm going to walk into the bush here and see if I can locate some kind of Bigfoot stuff. Did that walk, and here I am approximately about 13 months later on the same quest, because of the information that first 3 weeks gave me started to really evolve into a lot of concern. So I still have a lot of concern. It's not as death-defying as I have felt it at times, but I still have a lot of concern, and I think they affect our ecosystem even with what I talk about on the channel here. So Bigfoot is supposedly run on all fours, so it could look like a dog. Yeah. Well, more so than anything. I think that running like a dog is, running on all fours, I should say, is part of the trick there, because I always talk about how they're such huge foolers. They fool us all the time. You know how many times I bet you they get busted on the side of the road and fool the people driving by somehow? Like, there's no way that doesn't happen. But in the busyness now of them and stuff, that stuff won't necessarily happen very much, unless in some cases, like, I watch for them on purpose, trying to see where I might be at with my eyes and stuff on the sides of the roads and stuff. So when I'm driving down, like when I was coming here, I drove by our dam and stuff, and I stopped on the side of the road. And when I stopped, get this, so I stop on the side of the road on our dam, and our dam system's way down here, and I'm up here, and you can actually, to some extent in the night, see the road that goes down and then goes across the dam, and watch the vehicles and hear them run over those steel plates and stuff like that. And this is all power line thing, and I'm just sitting here thinking, like, this is such the awesome viewpoint. There's no doubt that there's just a clan who owns this somewhere in this area or whatever. I ended up just crashing up the road there, and that was my 5-hour sleep earlier. Anyways, I'm standing there, and I decided to do one of my little whistle things. So I did a whistle thing from down somewhere here. I know for a fact there's no houses. I know for a fact there's no farms. I know for a fact there's nothing going to be down there unless it happened to be in a stray dog that responded to my whistle. And in all reality, I don't even think he was way down there. I just think he was up a little bit higher like that. And yeah, whether he was just chilling, whether that's a hangout, whether, because like they can follow us through the mountains without a problem. So in other words, that lady who lives amongst them, say, and they're right off of her property, and say she lives at the top of the mountain when she's going home, and they'll always know, and they're, oh yeah, Sylvia's on the way home, type thing like this. However they're reacting about it, they're that inclined, they have to fool us, they have to watch their back, so they keep an eye on us. And that's all about, and yeah, that AC, that has to go with those theories of having doorways or gates or opening or view pads or whatever type thing into people's driveways and stuff, so they can see the front doors. A person, if they are living right around the house, they for sure always want to, I got a wonderful story to tell you. A wonderful story. Let me just check this, and then I'm going to tell you a story from a friend I just bumped into. So Julie's saying, I think like humans, their demeanor can vary. Yeah, I think so too. Unless it's a show, but I think it can. Like, I had that one that growled at me, kept growling at me, striking and doing a lot of breaking. I actually believe there was more than one in there. And I haven't ever had it happen again. But I don't know, maybe I haven't pushed right at somebody's front door like that again, right? Maybe I haven't been in that bad of a spot again. But with the amount of experiences and not having it again, there's some kind of control they have, I would say. AC saying, Snow White Bigfoot channel. Bigfoot's coming into her yard a couple of times a week. Oh, really, eh? Cool. Hide. Oh, what's that? Sorry, no glasses on. I don't know the name. Hello. Sorry. Hilda? Hild? I'm not sure how to say your name. Hello back. Oh, you love Snow White, Bigfoot? I think I might have went to her channel once or something. I'm not really sure. I can't recall. But so this story. So where I stay quite frequently, where I have that 7-minute video up of the night where I'm talking about, listen to these guys with their dog stuff, man. And I put my camera up on the roof there, and we just listen to the dogs. All the fake work there, okay? And if you put on your headsets and stuff and you listen to the ones that are way back on this mountain kind of hillside in the background, that's where lots of them are coming from. And then here you get to hear, a little bit of stick noise going on and stuff like that, right? Anyways, that spot kind of is in a valley where they refer to it as all tree farms. And they're the type of tree farms where I'd imagine the trees get to live 20, 30 years, whatever they are, become huge trees, and then they farm them. Anyways, a guy, when I first moved into this area here, let's call it about 10 years back, he was my neighbor, Steve, and so I got to know him a bit, living where I was living, and then I ended up using him as a contractor. He's a cabinet guy and so on and so forth. Does some pretty nice work. I ended up using him on a couple of my houses that are renovated. I ended up using him on even got him in with the big company that I ended up going and working with and stuff to do some work. Anyway, so we got to know each other fairly well on a business level and somewhat of a friendship. And I, once in a while, would stop into a shop and talk to him. Anyways, I'm back there. I decide to drive out the different way. Where I park on gravel. It becomes gravel here. I park quickly on the gravel. Then it's a ways gravel this way, and then it hits pavement. So it's got two ways in. Well, I end up finding out that Steve lives back here, and I guess he always takes the pavement way. So last Sunday it was. I'm driving out, and all of a sudden there's this black truck goes this way, and he's honking on the horn. I turn around and go meet up with him, and it's Steve. And he reviewed, so, because, with him, I've known him for a long time. I don't want him to think I'm crazy or whatever, so I'm saying my little whatever sales pitch or whatever, and he goes, hey, man, he's got this real deep voice, and he goes, you don't have to worry about me. When I was like, I don't tell people this, and I don't think I've ever told anybody, but when I was like 3 years old, I was at the forest there, and I knew something went on, and I ran over to everybody, and I told them there was a Sasquatch in the bush. There's a Sasquatch in the bush. So he from him, that experience, whatever went on there, he recalled always believing that there's something that's going on. Well, he's telling me about his new farm, his property up here. I don't know what he's got, but I'm guessing something like 20 acres. He's nestled in amongst all these tree farms on a very private setting. There's, on the part of road that he goes onto, there might be 3 or 4 residents on there, but just tons of acreage, okay? And you're out in the back, he's not on the back of nothing, but, there's, a lot of free land there, let's call it that. Anyways, so just the other day, he's got a Malamute. And he told me that he said that Malamutes have a dog language of their own, like a wolf. And I got my points that I would like to add to that. But first of all, he says he's out there with his dog, a female, and she's not even a year yet or anything, still a pup. And he walks to the back of his property, and he's describing that it's very thick brush like this, right? Just talking like kind of like the fence kind of situation like this. And he's standing there, and he says, all of a sudden,
hey, sir.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah, I'm working right now. I'm sorry, buddy.
Huh?
I'm working right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, have you ever had a fucking bank machine say your unauthorized card usage? Bullshit, right? You gotta call the bank?
I have no idea.
No?
Yeah.
Do you smoke by chance, bud?
No, I don't, buddy.
You don't smoke?
No.
Alright.
Totally eyeing me up. A weird character. Make sure that's locked. But anyways, so, where was I? I was at, Steve's, there we go. So he's standing at the back of his property there, and all of a sudden he hears growling. And so he just calls his dog, get over here, you know, because he says right away, I'm thinking that there's a coyote and he's getting into a fight with a coyote. She's getting into something with a coyote. He hears a scuffle, he looks this way, she comes running up here and she's all happy and stuff, wagging her tail and stuff, so he's realizing she had nothing to do with that at all. He's telling me this, right? And still, and I look at him and I go, that's Bigfoot, man. I'm telling you right now. He's kind of in this denial thing or whatever. He says he can't understand how it could have been a coyote because he said the tone, there was no way that a coyote would be able to make that growling tone, pitch, whatever type thing. But then he goes on to tell me about the crazy dogs in the neighborhood. And that his dog, because it has a separate language, that it won't bark with the other dogs in the area because it's a Malamute and it's closer to like a wolf thing or whatever. But when her brother comes over to visit her, then she'll bark with her brother. Right? So I don't know if you guys are really understanding there, but that is typical. It's typical that dogs won't interact with the Bigfoot noises because our dogs aren't able to say to us, those are fake. Whether there's a real language in dog language, yeah, but how many words are there? 2 or 3? So that's the extent of their language. You know, I'm not trying to be mean to dog lovers and stuff, but that's just the way it is. There goes dude riding by again. Maybe he's going to go beat up the bank machine. Anyways, so my points kind of are that, look at that. I swear, 100%, I know what I'm doing around there. I know what's going on. And here I am walking around them a little bit at night. Here's Buddy in his daytime being growled at by one. I even said to him, I said, coyotes won't do that kind of stuff. He said, well, I don't really think it was a coyote. And it's kind of like, okay, well, what is it then? You know, and you know, he ended up saying enough things where now I ended up driving away from there and I realized I don't have to try to push on a guy like that. The reason why he was opening up to me is he's fishing my mind. And so then, anyways, so what he did, and I told him that was a great idea. What he did, so when that happened and he realized, holy cow, he's confused about the growling, grabs his dog, takes her in the house, puts her in the house, grabs his gun, goes back out there or whatever type thing, and I don't know, he didn't shoot it off or anything, but he at least, and I'm assuming a rifle, but nevertheless, he came out there, he did what they are doing to us, where they're trying to hold their ground on certain amounts of forest, and, yeah, really, and, you know, they're trying to stand their ground, and he's showing and standing their ground. Yeah. No, thank you.
You smoke weed?
No, thanks.
No weed?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
$10, buddy.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Huh?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
Anyways, so, yeah, that's just amazing, amazing shit. Amazing shit. You're from Norway. Okay, right on. Thank you for trying my name. It's Holders. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I appreciate you coming in. Norway. Right on, man. That's the best. And then Julie is saying, oh my, she's biting her nails on some of that story from him. Yeah, that is the real stuff, Julie. That's like, he has no idea. But like I told him, I said, you did a good thing. You went out there, you stood your ground, you showed him that you have a weapon. You got your dog. Your dog is smart enough not to be going in the forest. I told him, don't allow her. He said, yeah, well, there's a lot of coyotes around here. I don't want to let her anyways. And I said, they'll keep, or did I get there? I was trying to get out. No, I didn't go to that one. But we're knowing, we're learning, we're understanding that us humans could keep a coyote for a pet. We could keep a fox for a pet. What does that tell you about Bigfoot? Right? I'm telling you that they're artists with the trees. They're going to be, to some degree, artists with a lot of different animals that can be controlled that way. So that is very interesting stuff. It's not like they got a big coyote factory necessarily going on, but over on the other side of the river there, where I know there is huge population now, like I discovered some new stuff over there in regards to their shifting of rocks, let's call it, based on my background of structuralness too, right? That's where I found that coyote, the coyote pup. I don't know if you've seen that video where I focus, or I get them in video and everything like that. That's right there. That pup setup was right there, right where a big, like a huge, where I'm climbing a huge sanctuary is. So, and then I'm up on top there, and there was a number of deer bones, and one of them still had the smell of deer in him, so you could tell it was deer bone, and a few different bones around. So lots of stuff. Hour and a half, I'm gonna go to bed. You totally think they have pets, eh? Julie? AC is saying, I pity the person who tries to make a baby Bigfoot as a pet. That reminds me, a couple of nights ago there, I think it was 2 nights ago, I swear, when I was climbing in for the night or whatever, I couldn't have done it, right? But I just had this thought of, I should leave my door open and just lay down or whatever and kind of act like baby kiddish, come on little guy, or whatever type thing. But that would just be an insane thing to act like. I'm just living in their spot areas and stuff. I'm not too much telling them that, hey guys, I know you're here, I can see you, I can hear you. I'm not doing too much of that stuff. I'm not encouraging them to try to interact with me. I'm trying to see, I don't know what I'm trying to see, but you know what happens is they are interacting with me. Like 2 nights ago, I think it was when I had the best, it might have been 3 nights ago, where I had the best kind of like talking in the night. And even when I came and seen my doctor and stuff, and I said, man, there's got to be a door opening here. We got to be able to get this information. He's got to think I'm insane. But I told him. Or no, it wasn't him. I was telling this other guy, the search and rescue guy. I told him, you know what? I said, I don't think they're going to be able to speak English. Where people think that they can talk and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to be able to talk. I think they're just, from what I'm hearing out there, when I'm laying in my bed and stuff, and even sometimes it would wake me up in the night, and then I'm just laying there. And so many times I'm just trying to act like I'm not really, whatever. See if it keeps them going on. Oh, this guy's not hearing us. Maybe we'll go up and bang, bang, like Bill said, with his car, with somebody who banged on his door there. Never has happened, right? But anyways, with the talking and the little chat, what would happen, a chat and stuff, it sounds very ape-sounding in voice to me, where I don't see how they're going to get even a humanistic sound out of there, really. So, whatever that means. I will, AC, take care. Never leave the door open. Yeah, I hear you. Mimicking, at least. It's like they were almost, I can't say that they were communicating, but it was like they were just trying to say noises to see if I would, maybe sit up or something like this. But they really did resemble ape sounds, so. And, because of how many, these guys who have kind of fooled me in a way to think that, okay, I got to discover if they're really talking to these guys. So these guys have given me some kind of an illusion to then work out if there's going to be words involved, right? And I see no connection of that. I see no connection of them being able to come inside my head. I mean, think about calmer than calm when I'm laying there in bed and I really am in a sleepy state. I don't wake up freaking out. I feel very secure when I got this tin box wrapped around me. I got no fear. If I'm step outside my door in the dark and stuff, then rates of things will change. But in here I feel great. So they're not jumping inside my head. There's no helicopter that has hovered over me. My car has never died on power or anything like that. We're just dealing with some beings that have been here forever, and they have a job with our trees and with our land and stuff, and they're doing excessive work. One of the reasons I'm really getting it stating now is it's because there's too many of them in these confined areas, I think. The way they're making our trees cycle is too hard. I don't think they have to. They might be the cycler of trees. They might even be the true pollinators of the world. And like I will jump back to, they're doing it too heavy here. And some of the different people that I watch on the YouTube, I can also see and believe that they're doing it too heavy in a lot of those regions too, because I compare it to what I'm seeing here in the super growth of it all, right? So AC is saying, Julie is saying, agreed, they love when we react. I gotcha. AC is saying, I don't think they will be able to speak like us, mimic us, yes, but not speak our language. I hear ya. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to know how in-depth their language really is. You know, there's some human languages out there in some of those little tribes and stuff where they probably have like 100 words, or I don't know, but a simple little amount of words compared to, Chinese. It almost seems like Chinese have billions or something, right? So, who knows how many things do they really have that they're able to connect on. It's bizarre. See, it might just be all their ant nature. They're just their little bug nature, their animal nature, their being nature that tells them all their information. And part of that information is hide from the humans. Then you bring Patty into the thought of that. I don't know if you've heard my theory on Patty, and the reason why Patty never ran, never worried about that. She actually brought herself out of concealment into the eyes of these guys on purpose, because I believe they were chilling. Probably some here, big family chill. No male was around, big enough, old enough to do it. She was the closest one, whatever. She took the leap of faith and went across like that. Because even when Buddy, the other guy, sorry, I can't remember his name right now, but he's still on his horse, but he starts across the river and he brings out his gun. I'm not sure if he engages it or anything, but he says he unholsters his gun or whatever, and he's doing that as just backup because Patterson had kind of stumbled off of his horse and was getting the camera going and stuff. And then Patty, when she does that shoulder look and stuff, and she does not change her stride, she does not change her attitude at all or anything like that. That's what she had to do. She had to do a full check. That's why she went way past the camera. You look at the camera, she's actually going beyond the camera and she's looking at Grimly. And gets a view of him, turns back, and doesn't have a problem keep walking the way she was, even though she had pulled out a gun and stuff like that. So something was going on where it's not like she didn't know guns are dangerous and so on and so forth. It's not, what had happened was their sounds were just blocked in a certain valley or something, and all of a sudden the sounds just came out of clacking on the rocks and all this kind of stuff, and all of a sudden she's just, and she would have just started like this, and they would have been just doing what they do. because it's all such a quick catch. We don't, you understand what I'm saying, that's a very likely thing. Thank you, AC, for the good talk. And Julie is saying Bigfoot had watched humans kill each other even before Columbus. I don't blame them for avoiding us like the plague. I hear you, Julie. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Don't forget to thumbs up. Don't forget to share anything you like. You can share it with a friend. Like my first face-to-face, that's the best one to be sharing. I think they know. Whoops. I think they know we are different from them. Oh yeah, 100% AC, 100%. Take care. You too. Don't work too hard today.